I mean, this year's draft, the number one story to me, and no one talked about it, there was not a player smaller than 6'4" drafted in the first round this year.
Sorry, little fellas.
Guess what? We're playing some basketball.
So the gray team is Sexton, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Walker, Kessler, Talen Horton-Tucker, and Rudy Gay, which has kind of been the second unit.
And the corner, but it's that defense at NT that I think, again, as Clarkson launches up one, he thought it was in, and it comes out.
Just the altitude. Alexander Walker's been one of the standouts of camp so far.
Ooh, beautiful move
for the gray.
Right.
West Virginia for his high school career. And then he's just been bouncing around. Right?
Your identity with limited minutes, limited time on the floor.
Well, I think the reason why he's still able to he could be a wing guy. I think he can be he's not a bad shooter as well.
He gets drafted, I think, as the 17th pick by New Orleans. And he's really scouted as a shooting. It's like the story of Summer League as a point guard. And then New Orleans flipped him to a point guard, Owen a little bit, and have a defined role you're talking about. That would certainly help him.
Nicely done. Olynyk.
Down for two, number 41, Kelly Olynyk.
41. I've watched him, his 10th year in the league. There's just something I like about his game. And now the thing
hurt. So, in theory, you're supposed to only get married once.
Colin Sexton.
He decided, fine, I'm going to marry one woman. Was the small ceremony in Idaho for their families.
Conley.
The second wedding was in Vegas.
I love that story as well. I think it's 9 inches it has to be to donate. There's a nice block down inside. You look at the pace, David and T. There's another steal and an easy 2 on the other end.
Down for 2.
But mark it in. That's the easiest bucket into Gobert. And right now, one thing you have to do is play your man, play hard, and the pace of this game. What did Conley?
In all the press conferences, it was that there's certain camps that are done where you're doing drills, you're doing fundamentals, you're doing a line through all the media sessions this whole week after we got back, was that even in practice, everything's a competition. You lose, you run. I don't think you run a lot, but you run up and down, but nobody, at the end of a game, it's a competition, whether it's a 5-minute long stretch and that's how Will Hardy is coaching this team, is everything is
following the scheme that's laid out for you, but one of the hardest things for an NBA player or a player in general to do, especially at this level, is to be patient. You've got to be able to be patient, grow with your team. They're going to be great moments. They're going to be possibly stretches of.
And there are not any guys without contracts other than Cody Zeller.
Right.
So everybody is playing for their basketball lives right now, and Jared Butler surprisingly is included in that group. Every expectation is he should be fine, but if you're asking Saben Lee, he doesn't think Jared Butler's fine. He thinks he should make the team. And if you're asking Leandro Bolmaro, just use the free throws to coach. So when it went down to one free throw, the players just took a longer time to get set, and the coaches took a longer time, and the amount of time that was saved in the game was incrementally irrelevant. So that is a great way to use the G League, is to...
he said he was going to, Will Hardy said he wanted him to be a bulldog mentality, and Horton-Tucker just won the first.
The excitement! Here's an interesting one on Talen Horton-Tucker and Stanley Johnson and Bolmaro and, about 5 of our guys. Shooting. All of them have elite NBA skills in some capacity. And the missing one for Bolmaro, for Talen Horton-Tucker, for Jared Vanderbilt, for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, so far in their career, the number one skill that most guys can learn in their career. You can't learn length, you can't learn height, you can't learn speed. You can learn shooting. I'm not even sure you can learn handles. That's a discussion we could have. So we got these guys that are on the verge, if they can get that figured out, opened up the mid-range. By having 3 or 4 shooters on the outside and one roller, you've actually opened up the middle of the court. So the Devin Bookers and the Chris Pauls of the world now can work inside that area with much more room than Jeff Hornacek or John Stockton ever had. There's so much more space. What has changed in the league is that
It was.
The numbers are not great on Rudy Gay's mid-range shooting.
Jared Butler.
We got enamored by him by knocking down.
I think your point is if he's going to be viable, that's where he's going to be viable. I'll buy that.
Yes. That's where I think his only
rebound bucket is.
If he's going to play for the Jazz, it has to be in that spot.
I would venture to say there are a lot of guys that aren't even comfortable with that, and even with that that 5-6 seconds, they're going to try to get to the basket, or they're going to kick it out for an open three
nice
after
catch.
drawing attention.
Like it's going.
Colin Sexton, nice dish. There's handles.
You know what? I was impressed with the Walker-Kessler catch down by his waist. I've seen some big guys who struggle catching it below their belt.
Yeah, I think
I think it's always telling when that happens because it tells you that the coach has seen something and realizes that he could be important to the season. And that's when his career took off. And so this is the first time he's jumped back up to that elite level competition. And it's going to be interesting to see how much he really did grow. You know, he's been kind of
out for a three.
Right.
I think you're going to see a lot more of that than
like that. The other we talked about signature of play. We just saw it a minute ago with Horton Tucker coming off the pick here. Johnny Juzang is a mid-range, like he was elite. Be a ball handler. It means your 1 and your 2 are out there for shots. Nice.
Montecchio, 2.
Or 1 through 19, I guess we have right now. Or 20? I don't know. How many guys we have? 20 guys.
Right now, the 1-2 way is Juzang.
I finished watching Jabari Parker and Rodney Hood, and I was like, I like Rodney Hood better than Jabari Parker as an NBA player. Nice.
Down for
THT.
Well, he might be the best athlete. Taylor Horton Tucker might be the best athlete on the team.
Still just 21.
Yeah. Youngest player in the league for 2 years in a row. I think it was something crazy.
and some freakishly
24.
long.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is.
Kessler.
Yes. And in fact, if you go back and read all, she's a legendary high school basketball player. There's your mid-range shot.
There it is. There it is.
Buckets in, number 22, Rudy Gay.
Gosh, who is that? Rudy Gay, huh?
And a 4 in San Antonio, 1 in Utah.
But he didn't play.
And then he didn't play.
Nice pass.
Oh!
Beautiful up and under.
And Nikhil Alexander
I'd say
Walker.
he's impressed in these first 2 sessions or quarters. As you said, the 6'1" player may be obsolete soon.
Right, if you're 6'1 or 6'2, you better be really, really, really special. You better have some
Nice passes. Kind of looking up early. Found Nikhil Alexander Walker early.
It's a 3.
Saben,
Number 23.
Saben Hardy's talked an awful lot about. Here he is.
Oh.
Bucket is in.
Yeah, and Coach Hardy's.
Horton Tucker with the assist.
He said the other day, I wanted these guys to get in shape too because some great pace against that, against the Trailblazers.
You know, I think we were trying to keep
Walker, Kessler.
we're trying to keep track of.
It tells a lot actually about how teams play. What do we got here?
Numbers.
Oh.
Saben Lee.
Number 38, Saben Lee.
Well, I'm going to crowd. Appreciate
Bowler,
you guys.
don't leave me.
Oh,
Don't leave me, Bowler.
I'll see
Wait,
you guys.
I got way better in the last hour or half today in there. What's the Twitterverse going to say after this today, people? Hit me at DLock09 on Twitter right now if you're watching the scrimmage right now. Let's see what you guys have to say.
A lot of handoffs, a lot of rescreens.
3.
Ball game. Horton Tucker with his second game winner of the night.
No.
The game.
Oh, Horton Tucker.
Great
score.
You know, I really liked him. Even when he was with the Lakers, I just liked what he brought. He brought a toughness.
Categories to a T.
Oh, no question about it. And I think the overall theme in those interviews from really everybody was there's something.
Let's go back to that Monday of nearly 2 weeks ago. And the conversation, David and T, what was the commonality? And knows about us. But then again, it's about a rebuild or a retooling, however you want to define it, right?
Buckets in,
and you have pocketfuls of number 1.
That's a good point, and I agree.
By the way, thank goodness they flattened the lottery odds.
For 3.
Because if they hadn't flattened the lottery odds after Jazz played like they did against Portland, we're going to win a lot of games.
Buckets in, number 6, Nikhil Alexander Walker.
The reasons we do it is defensively, right? Who's guarding the other guy on the other team that is going to be in the post?
7 feet, 240 pounds, and he played small forward for the entire year, and it worked. And Will Hardy was like, "Oh, we'll just do this. We're going to do it."
So are telling as you said, right? You could have one of the biggest front lines in the NBA with handles, by the way.
And we're seeing the Jazz play Markkanen.
Way to go, Tony Romo, calling it before it happens.
Olynyk is in for 2.
I'm really impressed. I didn't want to blow your head up.
Yeah, that's a good idea not to. Will Hardy's not going to be happy.
No,
right now.
that was
the defense has left the building.
That
here
was
for a minute.
Olay.
Yeah, that's intentional teaching right now by Will Hardy.
Lessons learned, right? And they have to be learned early. That's how habits are developed. And so, yeah, it's a nice shot.
That's a 3.
Yeah, and it's improving cardio.
But he can beat just about anybody into the paint. So I want a dead-eye spot-up shooter with him.
I think that's what Coach Hardy's trying to figure out as well.
Number 30.
Walker and Sexton playing with Beasley. You've got Beasley's one of the elite. Woo!
Up and in.
Bolmaro.
Number 10, Leandro Bolmaro.
Could you see, though, Conley being subbed out still?
He's number 10 out there on the floor. And then, honestly, he just kind of shut it. Like, he got overwhelmed. Like, it's that a rookie's, like, overwhelmed. And so now that he's had an offseason, he played 15 minutes a night. And he can figure out, like, how to play in the NBA because he's got a ton of skills. He's long at 6'6".
Yeah.
He's great.
I just saw something interesting on Bolmaro.
He had the ball in his right hand. He faked a bounce pass in, which brought the defender to the basket, and then created the open look right. Like, post-game analysis you can have on wasted possessions. I mean, all they need is a stop, a bucket, and a 3, and we're tied. Oh, there's
Leandro Bolmaro.
There it is. 3 in the books.
That's an important play by Bolmaro right there because he shot 47% at the rim last year, which is...
You still had to play. You had to be in games against great teams, and it started on the defensive end.
Correction.
Right. It started on the defensive end, and maybe not allowing one of those guys on the other team who, might be averaging 20, 15 or whatever, not be successful if you don't have 4, 5, maybe sometimes 6 guys who are double figures or close. Right?
Agreed.
That guy. You don't have Barry Bonds, Kirby Puckett, who says to you hey, get on my back, I'm carrying you tonight. You don't have that guy who, when your group is off, suddenly does
ball.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? And teams are going to nice.
Interchangeable parts, versatility in the roster.
He's not quite prepared yet, not quite in shape, not quite shooting well. I think it's a good opportunity for this Jazz team to pick up some wins, not just at home, but go on the road and
So you go into one of these places and go get a win together. You now are bonding through competition. That was a nice play by Jared right there.
It was.
We're talking about, right? Like, these guys, well, how many first-round draft picks do we have on this roster? And we talked about this earlier.
But this may give them an opportunity
to do a little
more
just like that.
Fontecchio.
Yeah, Fontecchio just kept on rolling.
But that's the versatility, right? That's the versatility and the multiple options offensively.
Oh.
Up and in number 3, Stanley Johnson.
I really do. Again, David, you go back. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of guys who were almost waiting their turn, right? And
for a year, and he's pretty dominant physically, and then he gets to the NBA. Really struggled with, well, wait a sec. I used to bully people. I used to overwhelm them, and he is now what I thought. Oh, nice, Abaji.
Great recovery.
And what I really liked about what he said to us in the media session was, I'm now working on trying to accentuate the things I'm good at. Stanley led that break right there. And there is a process as an NBA player where
that's a step above what I did in college. And it happens to every first-year player. It happened to me. I mean, I came in.
I think it happened to Jared. Oh, look at the gunner. Yeah, I still got the gun. But you had how many calories? 10,000 calories a day?
I had to put high release.
Perfect swish.
Fontecchio 3.
Fontecchio.
Nice. Got him. Oh, my. Saben Lee.
Down for 2.
Goodness gracious. Bolmaro. One of the signature possession is very high the way we're playing our roster, which I actually kind of love because, one, both of them are 40% catch and shoot 3-point switching that's going on in this
agree.
League.
And if you want to keep that pace of the game that Coach Hardy's talking about, you don't waste any time. If a big gets it up.
Old man Zeller. So this is an interesting play right here. We don't have replay, but there's a new rule this year, which softball it's classified as a take foul too. So
which is a good change, though.
Yes.
It really is.
No, have to.
beat the system.
That's what Quinn used to just always say. Watch the players; they'll teach you everything of the day.
Nice move by Jared Butler right there, just reading. I love the pace of his play. Come up. Nice change of hands on
his
that.
hesitation as a rookie was solid. There's a little floater for Colin Sexton. That's his game.
Number 2 for 2, Colin Sexton.
What do you think Will Hardy gets out of this film?
Execution. Looking at guys and see.
Nice pass, Jared.
Yeah. Looking at guys like Walker Kessler.
He rolls at the right time.
He does. Two that doesn't have to get all the way to the basket. He can pop that little 5-footer.
Walker Kessler block shot. Bucket, we're done.
Hesitation. Hezzy. Got him.
The game. Number 13.
Jared.
What do y'all want to hear? None of y'all know what y'all want to hear. What do y'all want me to sing? You want to sing that? Let's go on. Ain't no month in high shark. All right, y'all ready? All right, ready? All right. 2, 1, 3. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark. Mama shark, do 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 do. Mama shark, do 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 do. Mama shark, do 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 do. Mama shark. Papa shark. Papa shark, do 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 do.
Oh, not bad. Good job. Life of a rookie.